Alright, how's it going, guys? And this ain't something I normally do, so I'm not sure how this is gonna work or how it's gonna turn out, but hopefully you guys enjoy. I was asked to review somebody's face review from GT6, and normally I would go and do an actual, walkthrough of their base, and that still may come, but they're still sort of early on. So rather than do a base walkthrough, they made a video of their base, reviewing it. And I'm going to review that video. I have their complete permission to show the video, so there should be no issues with any of that. And I'm in here in case we need to look anything up in JI or take a look at anything in the base. So, 1 second, let me get the video ready to go. All right, and we'll now switch over to his video. Oh, and I'll warn you before I hit play, this is a Russian dude that I'm assuming is using a translator to English through an AI voice. So it's going to be a little annoying if you don't like that kind of voice thing. Trust me, I get it. I don't like it either, but we're going to watch it anyways. It's 12 minutes. Now, what in the world pickaxe is he using? It's purple. And it's clearly a GregTech pickaxe. But I don't know of a purple pickaxe like this. So I'm hoping at some point he looks in any eye so I can see what this is. Because I have no idea what that is. And I've already watched this very first part, and he just goes and shows the crops that he's got, which he's just starting to get crop breeding going. I'm assuming this isn't just him, spreading them out weirdly. He does have some GT crops in there, the berries and stuff. I'm just not sure why he doesn't spread them out to, like, harvest out the ones that are done and move them somewhere else. I don't know if he is or isn't, but it just looks awful messy. Worse than anything I do. He goes into any eye, but not down far enough for me to see the pickaxe. And yeah, of course he's making Pam's fruit salad. That's just easy early game food. You just gotta be careful you don't, die of diabetes. Okay, what is with the animal runs? These are not pens, these are runs. This is probably the weirdest thing I've ever seen for keeping animals. And also, you'll notice in a minute, I think he has a problem that I don't think he realizes is a problem in Minecraft. Is that by putting these this way, there's only a 1 block gap between the fences. Well, technically it's 1.5. It's 2, but it's 1 and 2 halves. That makes it better. But Minecraft, when you start and when you open and close the world, or a chunk gets loaded or unloaded, if the animal is standing in that half a block, Minecraft has to decide on what side of said fence does the animal get put? And a lot of times, your animals will end up on the wrong side of the fence if they're too close, which is why you don't do the packing of animals into a large area. Also, flag for them fighting where they're positioned. But that's why we a lot of times will put them in holes rather than fences, or we make really big fenced areas and keep the population low so they're not up against the fence. Like this, they're almost always up against the fence. And I'm assuming that's the problem you'll see here in a minute. Okay, what is going on here? There we go. And there's the problem. Where's the sheep? Unless he's got some rare breed of invisible sheep, there's no sheep in here. Also, those chickens should be on a hopper, collecting eggs. Why in the heck are they in a pen? He says rope. What he means is string. He uses the industrial hemp to make string, and then he uses the string to make torches. I'm not sure why he does it this way. Okay, so hold on. Give me a second. We're going to go back to the game for a minute here. Now, if we look up torch, now I know you get 6 of them. This is the recipe he's doing, which I'm still wondering why. Oh, that was a maple tree. Okay. So he's going for this recipe here. Maple sap, 4 string, and a stick to get 6 torches. I don't know why he's choosing that over either creosote, which is way easier to get a lot more of it. It's basically this recipe just with string. It's an old railcraft recipe. But I don't understand why he would do that versus just doing the sticky resin one, this one, that gives you 4. Yes, it gives you 2 extra, but you don't have to mess with harvesting the industrial hemp, turning the industrial hemp, 3 of them at a time, into a piece of string. That's just a lot of extra crafting for 2 extra torches per stick. And he clearly has rubber trees right behind the maple tree. He could take out the maple tree and put in another rubber tree, and you get a stack of sticky resin every time you harvest out of one of those sacks. If the sack is full, you just walk out here and right click, you get a whole stack. You take a stack of sticks, you mix it with it, and you've got 4 stacks of torches. So it's a different way of doing it, but it is weird to me. And I gotta look up this pickaxe. I'm assuming it's some kind of gem. But I'm not sure what one it is. Because, see, these all look very flat. And he says he's playing in my pack. So he shouldn't have any materials available that I don't have in here. But I don't see one, and these are kind of small, so maybe I can't see the glitterness of it, but I have no idea what that pickaxe is. Alright, let's get back to the video. And yes, I literally thought that was a rubber tree. I've been playing in GT5R for too long. And he also said resin. That's not resin. Yeah, that's yeah, you don't hang rubbers off your tree. That's a different thing completely. That's a maple tree. No, you're collecting maple sap, not resin. These are rubber trees. These are collecting resin. The what in industrial craft? Hold on. What exactly did this translation come out as? Oh, that's the Heive, I think it's spelled. I never knew how it was pronounced, so maybe that's how it's pronounced. But it's the rubber tree. Yeah, in IC2, it's just called a rubber tree. Called sticky resin. And this is why I said that I'm pretty sure that he's translating from Russian to English, because if he could read English, he could have read right there that it was, sticky resin. And he's got this up here that he could have seen that it was rubber. So, okay, there's a different door you have to go in. No. It's a mod pack by Bear. And yes, you can't sleep because Bear's a dickhead and has a mod called Bear Core. Keeps you from sleeping, but it's a mod pack. The mod is GregTech 6. You can definitely sleep in it. It's a mod pack that you can't sleep in. As you do in GT6. No. CFLCF? What the heck is that? He's got some kind of resource pack. I don't know what it is, but he's got some kind of resource pack. It's because your bucket's not already full. It doesn't fill the bucket. It uses the water from the barrel when it's told that there's a recipe that needs a water bucket. If he takes, hold on, I think I still have that set up. Let's go back to here. I'm pretty sure I still have this set up on mine. Yeah. So see, I have a water bucket sitting right there. And what's an easy recipe Yeah, I can get some bark. Make some bark. Oh, and just to show, where is that table at? 2, 3. Well, I can just do it here. See, I have the same thing, except mine is underneath instead of behind it. It doesn't matter where it is, it just needs to be next to it. And it says it's easy enough to get bark. There we go. There's an axe. Let's go over here. Run up the road a bit. That gave me 4 bark. Better stop saying that before the dog thinks I'm asking him to bark. We don't need to hear all that now. Okay. So now, if I do this, and I put this down here, it'll make it, and you see it refills from the barrel. That's what it's supposed to do, but it has to have water in the bucket. It doesn't, it only will refill it. It won't keep it full. All right, back to the video. Yeah, there's no reason to usually ever show that because that's usually a mess. And it's a drawer that extends, well, you can use stuff and put stuff back into it. It's different. Yeah, but it won't put it back in. Correct? He made a sapphire one. Maybe his pickaxe is a sapphire. Cryo nitrogen? Okay, I gotta see this. Kelvins. Or Kelvin. It's made of red alloy. Hoppers. Using a monkey wrench. If you're not going to show you should at least say what tool you use because people won't understand that. Hardened iron? Wrought iron. I just noticed that on the lead hopper, it's got weird looking things. I think it's this texture thing he's using that did this weird thing to the tools. Those may just be like cobalite or cobalt. Now, see, you said you use a screwdriver here. Why did you say a monkey wrench over there? Okay, why is there 5 molds if you're only dropping 2? I'm confused on that part. Still got to figure out this cryo-nitrogen thing. What the hell is it saying? Boiler, it's boiler. Okay, we're going back to the game again. Hold on. I would like to point out that that is why that I set mine up the way I do with this extra here, so that if there is nothing in the crucible, it'll automatically turn it off. If there, well, technically because of the limitations of the crucible, it's if there's nothing in the hopper, it turns it off. So there's always a piece of iron or steel in the crucible. But if I take, that's Invar. If I take iron and I put it in here, even just one piece, it'll allow it to be turned back on. That's why that is on this setup. So rather than doing it the way he's doing it, where he's activating the hopper through the molds, which is a neat way of getting around that. That does give you a different way of doing it. Mine goes off of this here. So mine is whenever, and that would save you if you do it the way he's doing it, which is, I'm going to have to try this because that would actually allow me to put this down here instead of, or using this one. That is a nifty idea, that when the molds are empty, it resets the hopper and has it dump. But see, I only ever do one at a time. Mine is set to 1 because it's just easier that way. And I have it set for greater than 2050. That way I make sure that it's steel, not 2020, because if you do it at 2020, you could end up not getting steel, you could end up with iron. But, and that's also why I use a Invar burning box, because it is way slower at heating things up, so it gives it more time. Okay, back to the video. Which, if he has 3 coke ovens, what is he doing with his creosote if he's not using it for torches or using it for fuel? I do not know what resource pack he is using, but those dryers are god awful ugly. So you're using your coal. The coal is for running the dryers. Still don't know what he's doing with his screw set. That is not a genital washing machine. Do not, at any point, stick your genitals in the sluice. A general washing machine, I'm assuming, is what he meant to say there. Okay, why does the sluice have that weird riveted bronze plate look? Or look at the sluice. It didn't get the texture that the other one did. It's got the rivets around it, but it doesn't have the other. Okay, I gotta back it up. Nope, not far enough. Okay, maybe it's only the side of that one. Yeah, we're not talking about the. See how this one has like this black or grayed out things in it, where it almost has like a. It looks dirty. It looks like you need to wash your machine. Is all that looks like. But if you look at the sluice, it's got the nice clean look of normal GregTech. So whoever did this resource pack didn't do the filthification to this machine. But he definitely did that one. God, that's ugly. Boiler. I don't know why he's using a steel centrifuge for regular ore processing. Let's go back to the game again. I don't have mine running currently, but with a bronze sluice and a bronze centrifuge, you can keep up with ore processing. This is actually what lags everything behind. This usually doesn't sit here and run much. Now, a steel centrifuge for if you're doing sluice juice, yes. And for some other things, sure. Like, I do mercury here. So, no, it isn't even needed for mercury. But yeah, for normal ore processing, a bronze one is fine. And you could even, go for probably 2 sluices. I haven't tried it because, I'm not a speed monkey. I don't need everything instantaneous. My stuff just runs all the time. But I just don't understand why he would have a steel one for that. That's wasting power. Because, the crushed ore Yes, we're looking at vibranium because why the hell not? But it's a 16 tier recipe in here. And then when you put that into the centrifuge, it is a 16 tier recipe as well. So by running this in a bronze centrifuge, if I can get it, there we go, stop it on the bronze, you can run it at 64 RU, which is 4 times the usage. The usage is 16. So you'll run it 4 times faster running it at 64 in this centrifuge. Where if you go to steel, you get 2 times the processes run, so it'll run 2 instead of 1. But if you're just running that, say, at 64, it's going to be there's an overclocking charge. So somebody do the math here, because it's a 16 tier recipe, so it's being overclocked, which is 4 times the energy for 2 times the speed. So it's going to run it at, I believe, 128 for the same speed, even if it's doing 2 recipes. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong here. But because you can run it at 64, but I'm thinking it would be just as fast or faster to run it in a bronze one than it would be to run it in a steel one at the same 64. And I don't know what he's running his at, but unless you need it really fast, I wouldn't run it in a steel one. All right, let's go back to the video. And I just don't get why he would be running, you know, he's got a bronze shredder and a bronze sluice, but a steel centrifuge. Okay, so he's got about the same type of setup that I use, where he's got an overflow chest at the end, except he doesn't have the recycling overflow thing that I have, where mine will just automatically send them back through when I hit a lever. But okay, he is running sluice juice in the centrifuge. Rootery? I don't know what rootery is. But why does he have a tank for sluice juice if he has a bronze sluice and a steel centrifuge? He shouldn't have excess. Sorry about that. Dog. Yeah, sifter, not shifter. There's not a mod. It's in GregTech. It's a sifting table. And I think what he's talking about is Greg's update, where you can, we showed it, let me switch back over here. he's talking about this thing. Let me run my butt back here. I think I remember where I put it. It's been a while since I did that update. But it's definitely not a mod. This is something Greg added directly to GT6. I think it's weird. This right here, a hand crank. And you can actually have villagers. If you put a villager here, they'll apparently run it. But yeah, you could put this onto a sifter if you wanted to. Because it does RU. I'd assume you can put it on one. I've never tried it. I find that thing weird. But there's a hand sifting table. I don't know why you would need to put it on the sifter. Because you can do the same thing with a hopper, a couple hoppers and a sifting table. Just put your ore in here, everything comes out down here, you smack it and just let it sit, and it runs. I think you might get a little bit better output from the sifter than the sifting table, but you wouldn't need the, unless you're planning on doing like very valuable stuff. I don't know why you would bother making the sifter. I use the sifting table to this day, and I'm up to, you know, multi-block tier stuff. The sifter is just a better way of automating the input, the output, and allows you to walk away from it. The hand crank and the sifting table both will automatically run, so you don't have to set up a auto clicker. The auto clicker is installed basically in GT6, but if you walk away, as you've seen with the hand crank, when I backed up away from that piston, it shut off. And that's because I got too far away from it that the auto clicker couldn't continue to auto click. And it's the same way as if you, I think if you go in your inventory, it does the same thing. So the sifting machine is only so you don't have to stand there and babysit it. No, you can't sleep on it. Correct. Okay, why did they make basalt look like gray endstone? Oh, you will eventually, and huge wooden pipes can move a decent amount early on, but you will run out if you try to continue to use huge wooden pipes. You'll need to go to like huge steel pipes and maybe multiple of them. Especially for water. Eventually, you'll be using so much water in your base, you'll definitely want to upgrade that pipe. Boiler. God, that drives me nuts. He's not showing the liquid nitrogen thing. Or cryo nitrogen, sorry. Because we're almost done. Okay, so that's the end of... Oops, stop. Oh, none of that now. I don't have permission from them. Okay, so I gotta look this up because he didn't show that part. Where in the hell is he getting... let's just look up nitrogen. So he's using nitrogen dioxide, nitrogen plasma, liquid nitrogen. I'm assuming that's what he's talking about, is liquid nitrogen. Where in the hell is he getting that from? Unless he's glacial bees. I don't know where he'd be getting. Is this where he's getting it from? Is Kelvin drops? I have no idea where he's getting his cryo nitrogen, which I'm not even sure why he's calling it cryo nitrogen, because you know, unless it's a yeah, that's like the only way of getting that. So I'm assuming he's using forestry for that. I don't know. We'll see what he says, and because I'm assuming he'll watch the video because he wanted to hear what I had to say about it. But that's his base review. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.